I am live. Having some technical difficulties, so I'm running a little late. If you notice, there's a border around the edges. Um, I have contacted StreamYard, and they have tried to help me get that fixed. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And as of right now, they don't. It's a little out of focus, too, isn't it? Well, anyway, it is what it is. But that border around the edge really bothers me. Anyway, hope y'all are doing all right tonight. I just wanted to get on here and have a live stream and see how everybody's shopping trips and Christmas stories, whatever you got. Uh, how you doing, Jeff? Good to see you here. I was just trying to. I've been trying. I'm running late. What about 7 minutes? But I was trying to figure out how to get rid of the border around the edges, and it's, for the life of me, it's done it before, but I can't figure out how I got rid of it before. How you doing, Rodney? It has to do with the EOS utility for my camera, and I don't know. But anyway, I ran out of time, so I just thought the heck with it. We're gonna go to live and see if anybody is out there. I know Jeff and Rodney's out there, and T. Ron is out there. How you doing, Mister T. Ron? Hope everybody had a good Christmas. If you did Spark, how did that work out for you? Wasn't that a nightmare? Ooh, what a mess. How you doing, Mr. Steve? Oh, Mr. Steve, you might could help me. If you notice, I've got this border around, and I've talked to StreamYard before because I had this issue of it not being the full frame. And then they had me change the settings on the phone. The first guy I talked to had me click on something on StreamYard and it worked perfect. Second guy I talked to wanted me to run a diagnostics and send them all this and that. And it was a nightmare. Anyway, and I got it fixed, but I think it's the driver for the EOS, which I'm using the Canon EOS R, and I think that was the problem. But anyway, I've already changed the 1080 and 720 and the 4K. I've switched all that around to see if it made a difference, but it didn't. Anyway, we're just going to go on with this. What's that old saying? The show must go on. It just bugs me to have that board around. And I had bought that webcam. I tell you what, that webcam. Maybe if you had the right settings and the right lighting would be good, but I don't. I don't. I don't know. If anybody wants it, give me a holler. Send me an email if you want this webcam. I'll give it to you. It's just collecting dust on top of my monitor. Maybe somebody could use it. You'll have to send me an email at dashinggrandpa at gmail.com. Game over. Oh, I forgot to mute my phone too. It's a notification from Mr. Flex or something. Yeah, happy holidays to you as well. Let me turn this phone down because it won't make a sound at all day, and when you need it to be quiet, it won't be quiet. But anyway, did everybody have a good Christmas? Those who celebrate Christmas, I realize some people don't celebrate Christmas. Some do. I think most people do, but I'm sure. Anyway, the Walmart Spark app, man, if y'all do Spark, wasn't that a mess? But in all reality, as much as it was down, I made more money in 2 days on a daily basis than I ever have with Spark. I had a 250, what was it? Friday was 265.63. Thursday was 251.79, and that's with the app being down 80% of the day. How you doing, Mr. Roy? Glad to see you could make it. Man, I bet some of the food delivery was busy. Make sure your virtual background is set to none. I'm pretty sure it is. Um, Settings, virtual background. Yeah, it's set to none. Yeah, all I checked that, but I don't know. It's something that I'm doing wrong, and I know that. But pizza been dead. Well, if I lived there, it wouldn't be dead because I'd be ordering it. Pizza's probably my favorite food. I think we've discussed that before. Buying a new phone reminds me of buying a new car. Now, there's a lot to the new phones. So, I can't bring myself to switch over to iPhones, but somebody was talking about, as far as the Spark app goes, that the Spark app works better on iPhones than it does Android. I don't know. Between the camera and the StreamYard, is your camera? I switched it to 720, and then I switched it back because usually I just run it on 1080 and it fits perfect, wall to wall. But it's not now. And then I switch it to 4K, and of course, that like zooms it really because of cropping it in and all that. But I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, but yeah, it was. If you do Spark, it was down. Well, it was down Wednesday afternoon through Thursday and Friday, and I believe Saturday at various times. Probably 80% of the time, it was down. At one time, I think there was 200 and something orders that was waiting to be taken and delivered. Needless to say, that didn't happen. Maybe, well, the yeah, I use the free version, but usually, where the little duck is, the logo, their watermark, it's my screen is full screen. It always works. What border to border, it's borderless, I guess you would call it. But it seems like last time it had to do with the driver, and I wound up uninstalling it and reinstalling it. But I ran out of time tonight, and I just had to go with the flow. Domino's food is like the non-tippers of the gig world. Man, that kind of bites. I always, even when I was younger, I moved down to Gulfport, Mississippi. My car had broke down and my transmission went out, and my dad told me that he would help me pay to get it fixed, but I would have to earn my part of it too. So I moved down to Gulfport. My uncle lived down there. Aunt and uncle lived down there. He was a bricklayer, so I went down there. And my aunt worked on those offshore uh, ships that takes the crew out to the oil rigs. So she would always fix the like pre-made suppers and stuff like gumbo and all that. And I just can't do rice. I don't know. I know most people eat rice. I just don't personally like rice. So Domino's was my best friend. And even then, I say I was 19, I think, I always tipped the drivers in. That was back when, if it was, what was it, 30 minutes or less, or it's free. I even got it free a couple of times, but I still tipped the driver. But, so there's no excuse for a grown adult not to tip drivers. Not when a teenager will do it. Anyway, yeah, the Walmart Spark app was down, but the orders it was coming through, I did a lot of shopping orders and they were paying 50 and $60 for 10 to 12 items going, 5 to 6 miles or less. It was sweet. I know there's probably some markets that are like that all the time, but not here. A good shopping order here is like 20 to $25, but you couldn't accept an order. If y'all ever watch Tim over on GigWise, he does the lives, and sometimes on his there in St. Louis, they have a bunch of orders waiting. That don't happen in Wichita Falls. On average, you might have 4, 5, 6 maybe, but just uh, not very often. Shift plus 8. Okay, if I disconnect myself, blame it on Steve. Which, speaking of Steve, if y'all like live streams and you want to get some education, he does a live after this one. I think it starts at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and if I remember right, it's 9 o'clock Mountain Time. So you said shift plus 8. Hmm. How you doing, Miss Lisa? Yeah, it's not doing anything. Lucid mode. What is lucid mode off? Lucid mode on. What is that? I don't know what that is. Did I just disappear? Oh, I see. It put me down there. Anyway, so Lisa, did you make some good money on Spark? I know you do Spark. Oh, shift plus 2. Nope, it's not doing nothing. So, it was. I tell you what, I had one shopping order today, and that was it. No, well, there was some curbsides come up, $7 and $9. People jumping on them like that, like they're gold. They're gonna learn. They're gonna figure it out, and it was horrible. The last 2 days, 3 days, I couldn't get on DoorDash. I tried. Well, yesterday. I'll take that back. I didn't try today. I tried yesterday, and it wouldn't let me. But yeah, I think it's the camera driver. I think that's what I had the issue with last time, and I wound up having to uninstall it and then reinstall it, and then it worked. But I ran out of time. I was 7 minutes late tonight. But if the boss wasn't watching, he don't know I was late, so or she don't know whoever my boss is. We all know who my boss is. Miss Emily. She's actually home. She got one good shopping order this afternoon. And that's all she got. But of course, she works full time during the day, and she starts about 3 o'clock usually in the afternoon. You got a large order on DoorDash that helped you. No, no, I wouldn't complain either. Uh, five items, 2.8 miles, $20. The one that I did do, it was 6 items. Um, whoa, where'd it go? Well, let me go to my trips. It was 16 something, 16.90. $17 is my cutoff, but I wasn't getting anything. I've seen $7 and $9 orders, and I'm not taking them. I'm just not going to do it. You know, you can't take those orders and make any money because I know there's some people that say you can do more than one Spark order in an hour, and if everything works right, you can. But on average, I think I said it before and I say it again. you just whatever order you take, count that as your hourly rate. You can't really do this job on an hourly rate, but it's just something to figure on. So I don't take anything under 17 now. And $17 an hour, if you was on a regular job, would be good pay in this area because our minimum wage is 7.35, I believe. And I only made like a salary when I worked for the state of Texas, but it broke down to about 12.80 an hour, and that's working with mental patients. So if you know somebody that works in the mental institutions and works with mental patients, you need to pat them on the back because there's a bunch of crap you got to put up with. But yeah, here Spark, and it was all over because I was on Reddit that Spark was down all over the place. But those orders, when you were able to get on and take an order, they were good. I got no complaints whatsoever. At one, here I am saying you shouldn't calculate it by the hour, but if you're just going to do it, it wound up paying 50. This was my big order for my story, $57, and it took me 45 minutes from the time I accepted it to the time I shopped it to the time I delivered it to the time I was back at Walmart. 45 minutes, $57. I would do those all day long. Actually, I wouldn't have to do them all day long. I could do them for about 4 hours and call it good. That was the best order I'd ever had. And it's just because the orders, nobody could accept them. So the system kept bumping it up and bumping it up. But lots of drivers. Your minimum wage is just the federal minimum wage. Unreal. Yeah, I think you can look it up. Well, uh, here, the dog's barking next door. Texas minimum wage $7.25 an hour. So, you want to flip burgers? Well, actually I think McDonald's is paying like $9, $10 an hour now. But used to, your food service was people that really got screwed over because they wouldn't be making much, and that's a lot of. There is no way I could work a drive-through. Them people working drive-throughs, answering people and taking money and handing orders and all. Whew, they need about $15 or $16 an hour at least, in my opinion. I tell you what, every time I was about to go to work Walmart Spark, I got an email saying the app was down. Yeah, well, they would send the app email out and saying, or even texting. Well, I would think we was getting text. I can't remember now, but anyway, it would say the app is up and running, and it would come up for about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then it would just start loading. It even started loading Well, I don't. Y'all are probably not familiar with Wichita Falls. Wichita Falls sits. You got the Panhandle, that goes up, and East Texas is over here. Wichita Falls sits right about here. So Amarillo is about 4 hours away, 4.5 hours away towards Colorado, that direction. I started loading up orders for Canyon, which is near Amarillo, and Amarillo. So that system was really screwed up. And my only hope is Walmart learns something. You're going to have to, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I'm not an IT guy, but I think it was a server issue with the influx of drivers and the huge influx of orders all hitting that servers at once. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I'm no IT professional, but stuff bottlenecks. It's not rocket science, but anyway, 725 in Iowa. How you doing, pork chop? No, nothing. We're just rattling. My we're supposed to be talking about good orders and bad orders that we got for Christmas, but my I have an issue with the border around the screen. That bugs me. It's kind of like my car. My car, I don't know if it's a tie rod end or what, but it squeaks kind of when you hit bumps. Man, that drives me nuts. Just little things bother me. Big things don't really bother me. But anyway, I just hope that everybody had a good Christmas and made a little money and enjoyed their family time or whatever they spent it or their alone time. Sometimes I tell you what, I love family, but sometimes alone time is kind of nice with just peace and quiet and nobody to bother you. But it's nice to have family too. Luckily, I have both. Some people don't get that. So I feel blessed. So it's 15 an hour. You know, I don't know. My thoughts on minimum wages is probably not the same as everybody's because it seems like uh the minimum wage goes up, everything else goes up too. Because the bread companies, the bottling companies, they can't pay these higher rate salaries and wages without going up. So so what? Raise minimum wage to $25 an hour. We're already paying $7.38 for 18 count of eggs here in Wichita Falls. Why not just go ahead and pay 11 or $12 an hour? You know, and that minimum wage goes up, everything else will go up. So it does no good. So I don't really get why everybody pushes for that minimum wage to go up. It sounds good in theory, but in reality, it ain't gonna make one bit of difference. Everything else is gonna go up too. Yeah, y'all don't forget about Steve's live stream. It'll be on here in about 32 minutes. Is the minimum wage going up in January? I have no idea. $7 for eggs. I did on the shopping orders. It was $7.38 at Walmart for 18 count large eggs. Um, well, let's just do this. Hey Google, is minimum wage in Texas going up in 2023? That didn't work. Oh yeah, I'm not even supposed to say "Hey Google," am I? See, I don't use this stuff all the time. I usually type it in, and because I forget that you can say it. Is minimum wage going up in 2022? No. Did I say 2022? 2023. What is the minimum wage? Currently in 2023, the 2023 minimum wage is 720. So no, apparently it's not going up. But, you know, like I said, even if it does go up, everything else is going to go up. Can't give raises in a recession. It would just make things worse. As weird as that sounds. Oh, yeah. It It's kind of like AOL and Norton antivirus and all them things. The more you, and a lot of other things too, but the more you try to fix something and make it better, sometimes it winds up making it worse. Norton's used to be the number one antivirus, but they've added so much stuff to it, it bogs down most computer systems. So I can't, and I don't push Norton's anymore. I used to. People would ask me. Now I just say just use the free stuff. It's less of a load on your computer. Seeing if I can catch up. Yeah. I don't know. When I started working, minimum wage was 3.35 an hour. I was banking, but I was living at home too, and I went to work where my dad was working. So I was a big guy then. But I started welding and I was making 5.50 an hour welding. And I was when I got ready to go out on a Friday or Saturday night, if mom hadn't washed my clothes, and yes, I was a little spoiled. She didn't do them all the time, but most of the time she did them. I'd go by the mall, buy me a new shirt or something. That was fun. But if you're in a situation like that, enjoy it while it lasts because it's not going to continue to be that way. So, and I don't know, she may be on here watching. My mom generally is on the live streams, but for some reason, every time I sign her in to YouTube, it signs her out when she closes the browser out, and I know it should stay logged in, but it doesn't. So I don't know. Did my Let me sit up here? I'm getting too comfortable. Did my chat freeze up, or just everybody? It looks like everybody just got quiet and talking and doing other things, but that's fine. I'll just keep rattling. Can't shut me up. It's funny. Me and Emily was talking about that the other day. She said that I don't seem to have a problem with being on a camera and talking and stuff. And it's really strange because growing up, I was the little boy that would slide in behind his mama. When new people come up, I would hide in. I was bashful and shy and didn't want to talk to nobody. And really, I was pretty much like that all growing up. And up until the last few years, I wasn't stuck up or rude or anything, but I didn't talk to people unless they talked to me first because I just didn't want to bother people. But now, I just, I think maybe working at the state hospital made me a little loco. I don't know. Oh, you think you just got quiet? And she's in there watching TV. She started doing this diamond art, and she was working on it. And I told her, I said, she can pop around here on the screen and show everybody what it is. It's kind of a neat little thing. Y'all may know something about it. I never knew anything about it. You was like that growing up too? I was. And like I said, up until the last few years, I really didn't talk to anybody. And like I said, it wasn't because I was rude or stuck up or anything. It's just I didn't want to bother anybody. And I got a couple of girlfriends by being like that too. Because some of the guys that I'd run with didn't know how to keep their mouth shut. And they could get a little loud and obnoxious. And I was the quiet, shy type. And I would just kind of ease in between them to kind of get my friends away from the girl so they would leave her alone. And sometimes that worked out. I don't know. You're surprised you got a YouTube channel up and running myself. And my Aunt Paula, she kind of helped me on the YouTube thing. Not anything that she did or anything. It's something that she said, and she said it to my mom, but my mom told me, and it wasn't nothing bad. I have the Dirty Shoes Adventures YouTube channel, and it was mainly like camping. But the first few videos was mainly just like driving through state parks and showing a little video and pictures and stuff. You know, you put music with it. And then my Aunt Paula said that I would probably have more people watch if I talked more or even talked, but if I would start talking and talking more. And I've gradually tried to develop that skill to where I can just keep rattling and talking and not let too much dead air. I don't know. And, I'm from the South, so sometimes my foot fits right in my mouth really well. And I say things that are maybe dumb or it might be taken wrong. But I'm just human, and I just rattle away. Sometimes it's stupid. Sometimes it might make me look like I know what I'm talking about when in all reality, I really don't. I just go, it's, uh, you know, I don't know. But it makes us all who we are. Always be happy with who you are because it's better than being unhappy with who you are. And if you're unhappy with who you are, get your act together and get happy. Yep, we're just human. Live and learn and grow. But you can't help anybody by staying quiet all the time. But sometimes you can learn a lot more by being quiet and listening. But then there is a time when you need to open your mouth and share what you've listened. Like you was being quiet and you was listening, but share what you've learned and your experience and your perspective on it. Because you can take two different problems and there may be five different answers and solutions, whatever. But you got to share what you know. Try to help out our fellow human being. Just don't be careful not to misguide them. Of course, I don't know. If you misguide them and they figure out something and work on something, they might figure out that they know a better way and learn what not to say and what not to do. Well, I have so many questions from the last video, so I'm thinking about starting back up again. We mean you have questions from a video, your last video you did? Well, honestly, as far as now, this is a little psychiatric thing here. Sometimes the best answers are already there, and you know the answers. You just try to convince yourself otherwise. So, looking in the camera or looking in the mirror, I kind of probably make sure nobody's around if you're looking in the mirror. But think about things in life. And am I that far behind? I'm watching this on YouTube and I have it over here on StreamYard. And I just now saw myself bring this phone up. Wow, I must wait. I don't know, something's running behind. Nevertheless, think about things and try to rationalize them in your own mind. And sometimes you come up with good answers because you're pretty smart. I don't care who you are, you're pretty smart. You've made it this far. If you was dumb, you wouldn't have made it this far. So listen to what other people say and then listen to yourself. And sometimes those answers are there all the time. You just try to take the easy way out or try to find another way when you should have went the way that you knew to begin with. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And something else as far as starting that YouTube channel or starting it back up or whatever. In February, they're supposed to start, you can monetize your shorts. And the trend is vertical video. I'm probably not going to go to vertical video, but I may start doing shorts again or more of them. I still do them here and there, but especially now because now on your YouTube channel, you can click on shorts or video and it's not all mixed up together. That's what I didn't like about the shorts. You'd be looking at somebody's channel and they've got shorts mixed in with long form content, and it's all mixed up. But now you can sort it, and that was a good step that YouTube made. But yeah, I believe it's February that they're supposed to start um, paying. So I mean, if you're gonna, that shouldn't be your only reason why you're doing video, but it's a perk, you know. And now, as Sean Cannell says, all you have to do is hit record or something like that. So just hit record and start talking. You have a lot more to share that you may realize it might be beneficial to others. James Williams, I'm here in Wichita Falls too. Brandon and that spark has sucked here lately. It definitely has. And today I had one order. Since you're in Wichita, you know where I'm talking about. At 4:20, it was a shopping order for $16.80 or something. That is the only order that I got. There was a couple of $7, $9 orders, and right now we have a Sam's Club incentive, and it's $4 extra an order. The only Sam's order I saw was, I think it was $11, but that's still only $15. I'm not doing that. So you've been hearing that all day. Am I lagging? I can't wait until it's 2023. Well, you've got to 2 more days or 3 more days, I guess, to start. And I was really hoping to hit 2,000 subs by January 1st, but I don't know that I'll make it. But it's okay. And really, the sub count, the only thing it helps is your self esteem. It makes you feel better about yourself, makes you feel like you're doing something that people like. But as far as monetization and stuff like that, once you get monetized, get your 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, anything over that, I mean, it's not really going to make a lot of difference. It's the watch time that matters. But it just would have made me feel better. I had one Sam's and one Walmart for a total of $47. It bites, man. Thursday was it? Yeah, Thursday and Friday and you know how bad it was. As bad as it was, I probably did. I was looking at my phone. My mom texted and said that I'm here. So hi, mom. She's there. Y'all say hi, mom. uh, yeah, Thursday and Friday. Where's my earnings? Yeah, Thursday and Friday was probably the worst days for the Walmart Spark app being down. But since the orders were so high, it was the best day for my orders, or the most I made. Wish you had a Sam's there. Uh, but if I'm thinking right, I think Sam's and like Costco is the same thing, or maybe they're not, part of the Walmart family, what used to be the Walmart family, but they're got the same concept anyway. Friday through Monday should be busy. I hope so. And really, generally on Sundays is my best day, but Sunday is the first, so I don't know. I was kind of thinking we might get returns, but I haven't seen any. I've never actually done a return. I've had to return items to the store because of different circumstances. But as far as a customer putting in a return and you have to go to their house and pick it up, I've never had one of those. I know some people apparently have because they have it, but Anyway, I'm hoping tomorrow it picks up. I said yesterday, hopefully tomorrow's better. I hope I'm not saying that tomorrow and thinking Saturday's going to be better. But sometimes I've been doing rideshare on Saturdays for out here at the base, and that helps a little bit, but it doesn't pay the bills. And I don't know if you do. I shop at Costco, but I like Sam's because of Spark. Yeah, I don't. I personally don't get that many Sam's orders. I might get 2 or 3 in a week, and there's a couple of people I don't know their names, but I know what they drive, and I see them at the Sam's Club because you have to go down past it to go to one of our WalMarts where you pick up on the side, and I see their cars over there, so I know they're getting orders. I just personally don't get them, and I don't know if you kind of get into the algorithm with Sam's. I don't know how it works, but I just don't hardly ever get them. Looks like when you have to return an order for some reason, is there something in the app that you select yes to return the order when you get to the store? Do you just call the number on the sign? Just if you have a regular order and say it had alcohol in it and you couldn't get their ID or whatever the situation is, and then you hit unable to deliver, and then it'll tell you to return it to the store. You just take it back to the store and then you check in just like you did when you picked up the order. So it's not a big deal. I would personally, especially if they're busy, I wouldn't be obnoxious about it, but I wouldn't, because sometimes you have to wait for a while. And if you've just got a couple of items or a really small order, I would catch one of the loaders that was heading back in and say, "Hey, I just got a return," you know, and they may walk over there and just get it. That's what they've done for me. But I wouldn't be overly obnoxious because if you tick off those loaders, they can talk to their managers and they can wind up blacklisting you from that Walmart. So what just be nice about it. And most of the time, as long as you're nice, people are not going to say much. After a return, oh, a .com return, I just go inside with. Oh, do you? Well, I've had to return a couple of .com orders, but I just pull over to the parking spot and just hollered at them and say, "Hey, I got one item returned." And they just grab it and go in. And the funny thing is, they don't ever scan it, but I can mark it, you know, and it's gone. Man, this is really trippy because the video that I'm seeing here on YouTube is like majorly delayed, and the chat's not delayed because I can watch it over here on StreamYard, and it's running pretty close. So who knows? As long as y'all are seeing it all coordinated at the correct time, we're all good. Other than this border around it, man, that drives me bad. Here I am with my phone in my hand again. Anyway, so James, did you have a good Thursday and Friday with Spark, or did the app being down cause you a big issue? I thought Spark was going to go down today because on my first order it didn't finalize, and it caused Spark. Huh. Well, like I only had one order. Well, it was a shopping order. I didn't take the seven. I'm not taking the $7 and $9 orders, and I have a feeling. Now I may be wrong, but used to, and you've been doing it long enough, Lisa. That, and I don't know how long you've been doing it, James, but used to they wouldn't. It was kind of like Grubhub used to be. They only allowed X amount of drivers for X amount of the population size or the amount of orders or whatever, however they calculated it. But now they've got so many drivers, and I think everybody has caught wind that Spark pays so well that a bunch of people has quit doing DoorDash or is primarily switched over to doing Spark. And when you're used to doing DoorDash and you see a $6.50 and $8 order, man, you're all over it because with food delivery, that is a good order because you can do 3 or 4 of those in an hour. But they're not quite grasping the concept yet that, generally speaking, you're not going to get but one Spark order an hour. Generally, now you can get more. I've gotten more, and I know somebody that said that they've gotten 3 or 4 in an hour. I don't know. 2 is the most I've ever gotten, but I don't know. But I think a lot of people are seeing that those Spark orders for $6.50 and $7.50 and $9 and think, wow, that's good. And if it was a food order, it would be good because they're only going a mile, 2 miles. But it's just they got that DoorDash mentality, and until they get used to how Spark actually really is, I don't think it's going to get better. And Spark is paying less and less and less. I've been doing it a year and a half now, I guess, and it's gone downhill big time. But it's because they've hired so many drivers, and there's other factors, I'm sure, but that's the big one, I think. Yeah, the zones was full and they wouldn't let anybody on, and they've ruined it for those who did the job and did it right. And I've heard some stories from customers I've dropped off to about how the Spark delivery driver previously left their order. It makes me ashamed, and all I can do is say I'm sorry that happened. I don't have any control over it. You know, they've stacked Cokes on top of potato chip bags, left orders at the door without even knocking on the door. And I used to send a note, a text out that I was on my way. And then I found out that they get notified. Well, a lady I talked to day before yesterday, a couple of days ago, she said she didn't get any notices. I don't know. But while we were standing there talking, because I parked right by her door, luckily it was an apartment. I got to back right up to the door. But while I was unloading her car, she did get a notice that I was on my way and I was already there and almost fixing to leave. So it was delayed. She did get the notice, but she said sometimes she don't get a notice at all. And then the Spark driver doesn't knock on the door, and she's disabled, so she has to have her stuff set at the door because she can't step down the step. So, I don't know. So, it's kind of like some of those DoorDash horror stories about how the food's left. And I'm afraid some of the Spark orders are getting left like that too now. And I'm not saying it's DoorDash drivers because I'm a DoorDash driver too. When I can dash, if I'm not busy on Spark, heck yeah, I'll dash. Matter of fact, I still owe them money because of a pizza order a while back. How's that for something special? I owe them. I don't know if it'd tell me or not. Well, apparently it's not going to load up. But anyway, I think I'm down to like $6 at home. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this a little short because I got a couple of things I need to do, and I want to watch Steve's live, and I don't want to be late for it, which I may be a little bit late. So Lisa had posted that link. Let's see if I can copy it and paste it. I think that was a complete link. It should be it. Ended in a U. No, yeah. Yep, there it is. So y'all have a happy and safe New Year. And well, we probably won't talk again till next year. I've got a video I'm gonna put out Sunday, so if y'all are interested, I'm gonna try to start dropping videos on Sunday mornings because I can schedule them to drop, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna drop a video probably 10 a.m. Sunday morning if y'all want to watch it. Otherwise, I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a happy and safe New Year and be good. Keep smiling. And always keep doing something. Don't sit around because you're going to get old, you know. What's that? Keep smiling. I don't, my mind's gone blank. I was thinking about something else. See, my mind's already gone. See, I told you working at the state hospital does things to you. Anyway, y'all keep smiling, dashing, dancing, prancing, doing whatever it is you want to do. See, I remember now. But remember, keep doing something because you're going to grow old if you don't. And hey, I got a haircut, but I still got all the gray. Can't get rid of that. Y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.